What's going on, everybody? Welcome to GmiasWorld, and I got asked a real interesting question. I don't know if you guys remember free safety Calvin Johnson. How many Maddens ago was that? Probably a while back, maybe Madden 15. I don't remember what it was, but he was a user god. Okay, he was just outrageous to the point where it's like, dude, like what was EA thinking about making this card, right? Really wild. And it's a very high possibility, because Calvin Johnson has returned to the game, that he will be back as an out-of-position OOP Christmas freeze player. Now, if you want to get an idea about what you're going to be dealing with, you're dealing with this with a higher speed, the same height, and don't worry about the other stuff. He's going to play regardless, and I don't know what his zone will be, his man, all that kind of stuff like that, but he's going to play just like everybody else. Unless they patch the game and they make these attributes really matter. Because I think the last patch kind of nerfed the 91 zone meta threshold. So when we're looking at it from that aspect, you're dealing with a 6'5" free safety, right? That is going to have decent speed and do whatever he wants. That's pretty much what's going on. And I'm going to tell you something right now. He's going to be very dangerous as far as trying to throw the ball against him. Even if you wanted to put him at cornerback, which would probably be the best thing to do, because if you put him at corner, you can't burn anybody right now anyway. So with his height, he's going to be able to bat every ball down. That's going to be very dangerous, okay, for anybody that's playing against him. All right. So the question from a lot of people were asking me, Gmia, what do you think he will cost? And that's a very difficult question for me, right? Because what I've been doing since I've been asked that question, I've been looking over the auction and the trades, and I've been trying to figure out, let's look at some of the higher priced free safeties, because obviously Sean Taylor, the Mutt Master, is the best free safety in the game. I don't care about this Ed Reed and all kind of foolishness that you guys are talking about, right? None of that stuff really matters to me. Let's take a look at some of the higher priced free safeties. Now, obviously, Ed Reed's price has gone down. Jarius Byrd, he has ridiculous zone. His price has gone down. Earl Thomas III, all these guys, Paul Krause, their prices are not too hefty, right? So when you think about Calvin Johnson and you think about the fact that these guys realistically, like, look, Ed Reed, his zone coverage 93, man coverage 80, whatever, right? His pursuit, hit power, all that stuff like that. Those are decent. Those are decent attributes. Those are really decent attributes, right? Calvin Johnson are not going to have those kind of stats. Like, his zone ain't going to be 93 and all kind. EA's not, it would make no sense for them to do that, okay? So the only reason that his price would be high would because people would want to user him, put him at corner, do different things with him, utilize him in different ways where they can actually have complete control of him because he's so big. That is the only reason that his card is even going to have value, all right? So what I'm estimating, when the set first comes out, right, he's probably, depending on how they release him and what his overall is, because remember, if his overall is low, like in the 80s and stuff like that, which it probably will be, unless they make him some type of, master, which I don't think they're going to do, he's going to be around, like, the most 100K. Hear me out. If you are a guy, right, that just want, a guy or girl, whatever, if you're a Madden player, let's just do it like that so everybody understands that I'm talking to everybody. If you're a Madden player and you understand what's going on as far as the stats that these cards have and how they play on the field, you're not going to spend a certain amount of coins over what these other cards right here are going for just to say you have Calvin Johnson. Because it doesn't benefit you. You see what I'm saying? It's all about what the benefits are of the card. Now, if you look, you can still user him in different dime packages, nickel packages, and stuff like that as like a middle linebacker. There's a lot of different formations where you can do that. If you do that, and that becomes something that you're doing with, you might spend a little bit more. But I don't see them having his card, a ridiculously high overall. If he's in the 90s, he's going to be around this price. He's going to be around a 250 to 400K. If he's in the 80s, he's going to be about, the most that you're going to see people spending for him is like 100K. Because it wouldn't make any sense. If you're going to spend coins, right, and Ed Reed is there for 448, let's just say Ed Reed is still at this price, right? If Ed Reed is still at this price, why would you spend more money for a card that you're not going to use her? He's going to be in the secondary just standing there, and dude's going to throw the ball through his body. You see what I'm saying? It would make more sense to get another card that would have certain attributes that you think in your mind is supposed to make it work, but it's probably not going to work. Okay? Because Calvin Johnson at free safety, he's not going to have high play recognition. He's not going to have high zone coverage. So those are the things that you really need. Why would you spend the coins on it? Okay? Now, if you want to user him in specific nickel packages, dime packages, you know what I'm saying? Instead of having like Anthony Barr, whatever like that, and you want to do that, and they somehow patch the game, that's different. Okay? Right now, with the way the game is, it would make no sense for anybody in their right mind to spend over 100K for a card that's under 90 just because it's Calvin Johnson, out of position player. Now, look, the only other reason, right? They're going to have sets the same way they have sets for everything else, right? Let's go ahead and take a look at the upgrade sets. They're going to have similar things like the Madden Harvest and stuff like that. They're going to have where you can put in, you know, different cards. Let me go to the guest of honor real quick. Now look, like Barry Sanders, you needed these four cards to get a Barry Sanders, right? So if he goes into a set, that's going to cost you. Because you can see, no, Jarvis Landry, you think anybody wants this card? This guy sucks, but he's in the set. So that's why it makes sense, you know what I'm saying, to spend that price. Who's playing with Chandler Jones? I don't think I've seen this guy at all. Since he's been released, I don't think I've seen anybody using him. People are getting these cards just to put them into sets. And then that's it. This Jalen Ramsey, I actually streamed when he first came out. He was terrible. Bruh, terrible. Terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. All right? So, you guys, the only way that EA Sports could get you in your pockets is if they go ahead and they put them into a set. That's it. It's it's literally no. Why do I still have all that other stuff? And why are these prices so crazy? This doesn't make any sense. Why would anybody still be paying that kind of coins for this? This is hold up. I still got these players. I don't even know what. I just saw the plus marks there. I had no idea that I still even had these players. You know, those Thanksgiving players. But again, that is the only way that his value will be high. But I don't expect, if he's not in a set, for anything to... People are not going to go crazy over it, because at the end of the day, a lot of people are just putting... You know, they're setting their secondary up, and they're leaving it there for them, you know, for the computer to do everything. Because that's pretty much what I run into now. A lot of guys that just have the computer doing everything for them. Now, my free safety right now is Sean Taylor. So if I were to get Calvin Johnson free safety, he would obviously have to play at another position. Okay? Would I user him at linebacker? You know, as a linebacker? Probably. I'd probably do that, because that would make sense for me to do that. Because Ryan Shazier and like Vic Beasley, Anthony Barr, none of these guys, like, regardless, it's going to be bad timing drop user picks, right? Unless they patch it and they realize that it was a foolish idea and to begin with, and it doesn't make sense. Because it doesn't really matter if somebody's running with the bigger vast scene of what Madden has become. I don't think it really matters that somebody's running around holding Y. If they make a good play on the ball, let them pick it, because you already took away the fact that you're supposed to have real stick skills anyway by strafing and then going to intercept the ball. You turned into ball hawk and all that stuff like that. So you can't give people the bum way out and then try to take it away from them. It doesn't make any sense. You understand what I'm saying? So when you look at it from that aspect, I would probably put him in. I would change my defense up a little bit and put him in the sets where I could user him. And I would recommend that my viewers do that as well. Depending on what his stats are, which I will update you with it once the card is released. I will update you and let you know exactly what's going on with it, how we're going to utilize him. But I wouldn't let him play in the secondary, because he won't have any stats that are good for the secondary. So why would you want more high blood pressure medication? Just don't do it, bro, because it's not going to work. All right? So all in all, remember what I told you. His price is going to be about, if he's in the 80s, 100K. If he's in the 90s for some weird reason that EA is just trying to play with our emotions, he's gonna be around, in the 90s he'll be about 250 to 400. All right, but other than that, it's not really anything like to write home. Why is Brian Dawkins going for 1 million and somebody's actually about to buy it? Like, if you look at this free safety, right? He has a 91 zone coverage. He's basically right there at the threshold. Why would you spend that? Well, maybe you're an Eagles fan, but why would you spend this? You see what I'm saying? Why would you spend this on that when you saw Ed Reed with a 93-93? It's all about what the consumer wants. You see what I'm saying? So if you guys are willing to spend the money, EA Sports is going to put the cards out. I'm just letting you know what works, what doesn't work, and I'm trying to take the time out to answer the questions that, you guys have about the cards and what you should be spending money on. Because if you look at Paul Krause, right? I've played against Paul Krause. This guy jumps every route with a 92 zone coverage. So when you start looking at these numbers, it doesn't really make any sense to get cards that are lower and spend more. Unless, you're probably just a fan of Brian Dawkins. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's what it is, but it doesn't make sense. So, going forward with Calvin Johnson, I know a lot of you guys want to use him. You want to go back to the past. For whatever reason, you really want this guy. Like, somebody is really happy that they're going to get this card for 1 million coins. But why? You see what I'm saying? It doesn't really matter. It's not like older Maddens where it actually mattered. It doesn't. And I'm just being honest with you. So, if you guys want me to continue to look into that about the Calvin Johnson when it comes out and follow it up, let me know in the comment section. Drop a like. Let me know what's going on and what you're looking most forward to for your out-of-position player for the Ultimate Freeze in Madden 18 Ultimate Team. Until next time, one love.